Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Radhanath Radha Radhanath Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Radha Madhava ki, Jai Prabhupada ki. We'll follow with some invocation prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindurvyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Shri Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for all attending today's class. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we're going to be continuing the Transcendental Diaries on Saturdays. We're on volume 4, chapter 2, and Srila Prabhupada is with the devotees in Bombay. It's August 13th, and we're also going to August 14th of the year 1976. I will read some from the text here. It's about 11 to 12 pages long, but I will only highlight some of the more important points as time may not allow for everything. So it's August 13, 1976, and it reads as follows. You can follow on the screen. Srila Prabhupada wasn't impressed with Iran Airline or Iran Air. This service was poor and the facility shoddy. He was even less impressed with Karachi Airport, where we had a 40-minute stopover. Although we were not allowed off the airplane, no one objected when Prabhupada and I walked through the open door to stand for a few minutes at the top of the mobile stairway. Scanning the dilapidated airfield heavily guarded by soldiers, Srila Prabhupada shook his head. Everything is so low class. This place has no importance. There is not one other foreign airline here. They wanted their independence from India, but what have they gained? So when I was reading through this Transcendental Diaries, I said, this is the opening paragraph, and I don't know what to say about it. Is there a lesson here? I was looking at it for quite a while. The next morning I woke up, and then it hit me. How can you speak? What can I speak about in this paragraph? They say that your consciousness is so important. It can affect what you do, your actions, the results of your actions, and so on. And then it hit me. They wanted their independence from India, but what have they gained? In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text 16, 17 related, Rajastu palam dukkam. Action done in the mode of passion results in misery. So, you can see that this airline and, the whole country in general, everybody wants to serve themselves. They want to serve themselves. They want to keep and maintain their pride. As Prabhupada says, they wanted their independence. So when you want things for yourself and you're not too concerned about anyone else, you actually lose more than you gain. Yes, you got your independence, but at what cost? And at what cost? And then it also hit me that, everything that Srila Prabhupada did, this Transcendental Diaries is so important. Every step that Prabhupada took, there's a lesson in it. There's some knowledge in it. There's something that you can learn from. Every statement that he made, there is so much of potency. Even something like this. A regular person may think, Prabhupada is just talking ill about, the airline and the airport and so on. But actually, no, it's pointing out here that your consciousness is so important. You have to understand what you are doing. You have to understand who it affects, how it affects things. And if you may keep your negative qualities like pride, false ego, your anger, you end up losing more than you gain. And then as I was reading, I came across this part towards the end of that. Gopala also had snippets of information from Vrindavan, where he said the traffic was so busy in front of our temple that the government had assigned 2 police officers to control it. And in Delhi, he said, the daughter-in-law of the Maharani of Jaipur was regularly attending our temple. So you can see that from the airline to this situation, here there is a temple. Of course, it's a temple started by a very saintly person, because the consciousness of that person is so great that people want to go there all the time. There's traffic outside the temple, that they can't even control the amount of people coming to the temple. So you can see from these 2 paragraphs how consciousness can affect an area, how consciousness can affect the people who want to be there. When you meet somebody, or when you enter any person's home, you can just feel the kind of presence in this home. Is it a happy home? Is it a negative home? Is there violence going on? Is there connections between the family members living here? Consciousness spreads around. People think it's a very esoteric thing. You're just making it up. It's just feelings you get. But no, everything you do, there's consciousness in it. And you'll see as later on as we read more how consciousness comes through. So now we're at Juhu Beach. Palika Prabhu was waiting amongst a small crowd of devotees at the entrance to his apartment building. Srila Prabhupada was happy, but surprised to see her. Oh, you are here. She was surprised at his surprise, telling him that she had come to cook for him. They both looked at me inquisitively. She, because she thought Srila Prabhupada had personally called her to India, and he, because he had not been informed that she was rejoining the party. Thinking Prabhupada may not agree to have money spent for his personal needs, I had taken a gamble that he would approve. Now, with some trepidation, I explained my actions in sending for her, motivated by my desire that he get good prasadam every day. Then I waited for his response. Anyway, now there will be no difficulty, he said with a gentle smile, filling me with relief. So you can see the anxiety of Prabhu. He took a gamble. Now, you know the 4 eggs, you're not supposed to gamble in. But this pastime reminded me of, they say that the spiritual master is the representative of Krishna, and one should treat the spiritual master as good as Krishna. Similarly, it reminded me of the pastimes of Vrindavan, from what I hear from the devotees, is that the gopis are always trying to make many arrangements to satisfy Krishna. Always making plans. They're always getting together, putting their heads together, and trying to arrange such a situation just to please Krishna. And then I looked at this extract here and I thought, similarly, the devotee has made an arrangement to satisfy the pleasure of the spiritual master in that way, to give him good prasad. And I thought, this is so nice. This is how we should be acting. Just as it is in Vrindavan, how the gopis, how everyone in Vrindavan actually is trying to satisfy Krishna and making such arrangements. We should be acting in the same way, even in this material world, but in a spiritual sense. That, yes, we may not have Krishna personally, but his representative is here, and we should always be trying to make such arrangements to satisfy him. So, I thought this was very nice. It just immediately took me to that, you could say pastime of the Lord. So, moving on here. Mr. Asnani reported happily that the customs officers did not open any of our bags. Prabhupada smiled. He said, seriously, we are always traveling. They should give us some concession every time we get checked. Actually, the government should have given us the best facilities because I am distributing India's culture all over the world. As the devotees cheered, he added, unfortunately, I am not receiving any encouragement from the leaders and the authorities. This is India's glory, history will say. All people are responding all over the world. Money, men, strength, everything they are supplying. But we are not getting very good encouragement from India. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is that every Indian should become guru and preach the instruction of Krishna. And people are hankering after receiving this instruction. Unfortunately, the so-called swamis, yogis, or even politicians, they are not presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is. Anyway, so long I live, I shall go on struggling like this. That's all. Once again, the room erupted in appreciation. Jai Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, text 41, I think it's Madhyam Lila. Bharata bhumite haile manushya janma yara janma sartaka kari kara para upakara. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharat Varsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all people. This Lord Chaitanya is saying, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, India is considered Bharat, the Holy Land, and it is the duty of the people born there. Not to say that Indian people as per race, Indian people as of their nationality. If you are born in India, you are Indian. And therefore your duty is to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. Now, when somebody is preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world, who is born from this land, even if the other people cannot preach as well, at least try to assist that person who is doing the work. Try to assist. Become the servant. So Srila Prabhupada is that person who's going around preaching all over the world. And thereby what should be the duty of the Indian people? They should be helping him. So Prabhupada is not very happy that we have to be searched. What are you searching him for? He's not carrying drugs. He's not trying to sell. He's not in the black market. He's not doing all of that. He's a genuine person. He's a first-class devotee, first-class person. All he's trying to do is give the message of God, and you want to search him. It doesn't make any sense. So Prabhupada was not very appreciative of that. But nevertheless, this is the material world, and one has to tolerate. One has to tolerate, unfortunately. Even when the devotees are going on Harinam, people will come outside, roll their eyes, close their windows, go back inside, things like that. That is their misfortune, unfortunately. But we should continue to try to preach God on Harinam, and somebody will come. Somebody will come, and that's all we needed. And even if they don't, the holy name will be spread, it will enter into their ears, enter into their soul. And maybe if not today, maybe tomorrow they will take to Krishna consciousness. If not tomorrow, maybe next week. If not next week, maybe next month, next year, maybe even next lifetime. That's fine. Our duty, nevertheless of the result, our duty is to give our Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has done that. He has given us the holy name taken from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taken from his spiritual master, and our duty is to carry on helping him spread that. Is to help him spread that. So we continue. We don't worry about the result. The results are up to Krishna. He will sort that out. So continuing there, after everyone left, Prabhupada took a little prasadam from Palika. Inspecting his plate, he asked her about one of the preparations. Palika told him that it was a sweet made by one of the girls here. Not everyone should make, Prabhupada told her. She is initiated. Palika confirmed that the girl was, but assured him that she would be making all his prasadam herself. She had no time today because she had only just arrived. So, once again, consciousness is coming through. They say the very advanced saintly persons can feel the consciousness, can sense the consciousness even in the prasad. They just know what's going on. It's not so much the food preparation that comes. It is the manner in which it is made. One may take, and I know this personally, one may take, or feel it personally, you take regular prasad, and it tastes very nice. It does taste very nice. And then you take Mahaprasad. And Mahaprasad is not normal food. It doesn't taste like normal food. There's something else going on. Because the consciousness is different. And a great saintly person can sense the consciousness. So he could tell, even by that one food preparation, you could tell that somebody else has made this, and the consciousness was different. There's one time, this Maharaj, I won't mention his name, but probably everyone will guess it anyway. So Maharaj was here in the temple room, and he came to our family, he greeted us and so on. He greeted my sister, my mother. And then he looked at me and he asked them, who is this? Because he hadn't met me personally so many times. So I'm thinking to myself, Maharaj, I'm thinking to myself, Maharaj, kind of a deal here now. People know me, how do you know? Right? And so, anyway, so then he looks at me and he's sizing me up now. And I heard the devotees say that, when a Maharaj looks at you now, he's looking into your eyes, he can see everything, there's no secrets. So now I'm getting a bit nervous now. But then it's also it's rude to not look a person back, So I don't know what to do now. I'm looking at him, then I'm trying to look away. But then I'm also told that, if a man is sizing you up, you got to look them in the eye back, So I'm not sure what to do. Anyway, he looked at me for quite a while. I was actually getting kind of awkward. And then he paused for a moment, and I thought, okay, Maharaj has looked at me now. He's got the idea of who I am, doing service and all. He might just give me a thumbs up. He looks at my sister and he says, please engage him in service. I'm doing so much service, Maharaj. How much more do I have to do? So the great saintly persons, they can sense your consciousness. They will cut that pride and ego immediately. So when you're near a great saintly person, yes, it's a bit nerve-wracking. They can suss you out. They know all your weak points. It's easy. But allow them to do so, because then they will cut that negative thing from you. And it makes you advance even more. So continuing here, we're now on August 14, 1976. So now Prabhupada is talking with Dr. Patel. Dr. Patel thought it not very wonderful, and Srila Prabhupada agreed. From spiritual point of view, this has no meaning. This is worldly affection. This is not very good asset for spiritual life. One has to give up ashakti. That is the process, renouncement, voluntarily. Our Vedic process is that at a certain age you must retire from family life. Voluntary, forceful, giving up association. There's husband and wife dying together because ashakti is there. That ashakti will help him, that the wife will become a husband next life and the husband will become wife next. And in that way, they'll have to take birth again. He said people in modern civilization have no idea about rebirth. They are simply after money by one means or another, and the biggest men, even here in India, do not understand they will have to take another body. And although the concept is clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita, it is being misinterpreted and spoiled. Dr. Patel said, each man understands according to his own level of understanding. No, Prabhupada corrected him. Suppose just like you are a medical man, you are giving somebody medicine. You are giving the direction. If he wants to be cured, he must take that direction. Not that somebody comes, no, you can take it this way, you can do this. That is nonsense. This nonsense we want to stop. Krishna is giving the instruction, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What business you have got to poke your nose and give interpretation? Are you bigger than Krishna? Krishna left it for you? This nonsense going on. Big swamis, big yogis, big politicians, simply misinterpreting. Very serious condition. He was taking so much trouble, he said, just to save others. These fools and rascals are leading, they are going to hell, and they are taking the followers to the hell. This is going on. Stop this, at least in India. Save, that is real para upakara. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Our India is not meant for exploiting others, doing good to others. That is India's mission. Our teachers, our acharyas do not teach us, go and exploit others and bring money. British Empire, this is not India. Prabhupada said the spirit of para upakara was gone because India has lost its own culture. India was open. Come, everyone learn. Lord Jesus Christ also came here. All the Chinese learned scholars, they used to come. The history is there. And India was open. This is Indian culture. Even the enemy comes. Yes, please come, you stay. But later on, they took advantage. Oh, they are very liberal. Entered there. And still we are liberal. Please come here, stay here and take prasadam free. And chant Hare Krishna, open to everyone. He spoke determinedly. I shall manage anyway. I shall travel. Still, I shall lay down my life and bring money. Come here, stay. Still, we are liberal. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Janma sartaka karikara para upakara. First of all, you make your life successful by Krishna consciousness. Then do good to others. So again, we are going back to the point where it is the duty of the Indian people in India to preach God consciousness, Krishna consciousness to the whole world. And by extension is also our duty. One wants to get technical, oh, we are South African, doesn't matter. Our ancestors are from India. Our knowledge comes from the Vedic literature, which starts from India. So nevertheless, it is our duty that we have some knowledge about Krishna, we distribute it. Similarly, when we are at temple, our duty is to preach to everyone. You find that Prabhupada was mentioning somewhere around here that India was open. India's purpose in the whole world is that you come there to learn God consciousness. You don't come there for business. You don't come there, because India is big. You just want to experience the beaches or experience the mountains or whatever. It's not about that. India is a place of culture, Vedic culture, and you come there to learn. Similarly, by extension, this temple, the devotees, when they come to us for God consciousness. And that's what we should give them. We should try to avoid engaging in other talks, mundane talks. Even in the Nectar of Devotion, it is mentioned of Prajalpa, unnecessary talk. Why waste that person's time who has come to the temple to talk to you? Talk to them about Krishna. Because when they leave the temple, chances of talking about Krishna lowers, and they can engage in the same mundane conversation that they would have spoken with you. So give them that opportunity, that time of the day to speak about Krishna consciousness. Because when you go out there, trust me, it's full of nonsense. So we move on. So now there's some letters that came through, and Prabhupada is going through a few, and he also responds, and both are recorded here. It read, "Our eternal duty is to render loving service at your lotus feet. More than anything else, we beg to be engaged by you in preaching Krishna consciousness. Even though we are so fallen, so full of ignorance and ugly desires, still we hope against hope that you will lead us to preach. Teach us to deliver the whole world by drowning all conditioned souls in the nectar flood of your transcendental books. Sometimes on hands and knees, with tears in our eyes, we cry to Lord Chaitanya to please give us the desire and strength to distribute your books for the rest of our lives. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Govardhan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki." Sometimes we dare to think that we might even take another birth to continue selling your books in every town and village until the entire world knows of this movement and your divine grace. On this holy occasion of your divine appearance day, we humbly submit a small offering of Guru Dakshin. We feel ashamed that we are so insignificant and can do nothing to serve you in any way. Yet as we go on, struggling to obey your every instruction, we ask of your divine grace one boon. Please, please engage our bodies, minds, words, everything we possess in preaching Krishna consciousness up to our last breath. Never let us deviate from this work of spreading Krishna consciousness and distributing millions and trillions of your books. Your most unworthy servants, the residents of ISKCON New Dwarka. So when I was reading this offering, it's a very, very nice offering. And then I came to the part where sometimes we dare to think that we might even take another birth to continue selling your books in every town and village. At still the very neophyte stage, to think to take another birth again and coming back to this place and doing it all over again, materially, maybe no. But when one advances in Krishna consciousness, and even though they are placed in the material world, they do not see the material world only for its material happenings. They see it as an opportunity to preach, to engage in devotional service. And all they see is Krishna, Krishna's service, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's knowledge. And so when they step foot here, it's all about Krishna. And so yes, one may have to go through some miseries, through some anxiety in this world, but it is okay. It is Krishna's mercy, as the devotees understand. And as you advance in your Krishna consciousness and your consciousness develops, you will feel like that. There are many advanced devotees who don't mind even walking through hell. The gopis of Vrindavan don't mind walking through hell just to give 1 ounce, one minuscule amount of pleasure to Krishna, because that's how much they love Krishna, and it's all about that. So to come back and continue to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books is the best thing that can happen to you. So of course they are very advanced, and they are even willing. They say we dare, because it is a dare, but they are willing to do it to please the spiritual master. So continuing here. So Prabhupada now responds to this, and he writes, "If you feel at all indebted to me, then you should preach vigorously like me. That is the proper way to repay me. Of course, no one can repay the debt to the spiritual master, but the spiritual master is very much pleased by such an attitude by the disciple. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Vyava Satyamika Buddhir Ekeha Kuru Nandana. Those who are on the path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. Our only business is to be fixed up in devotional service by pleasing the spiritual master. Those who are not fixed up, they have various lines of action. Eka means one and Bahu means many. The real ocean of mercy is Krishna, and it is the duty of the spiritual master to tell his disciple to come to the ocean and be happy. The spiritual master's duty is to lead the disciple to this ocean. But I am trying my best, and if you try to follow, surely you will benefit." Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, "Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite para, tomara sakati ache. Amita Kangala, Krishna Krishna Boli Dhai, Tava Pache Pache. Krishna is yours and you have the power to give him to anyone you wish. I am poor and wretched and running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. No one can catch him. But if someone follows the parampara, he agrees to be captured. Everyone is afraid of Krishna, but Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda. That is Krishna's special mercy. I hope this meets all of you in good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Pleasing the spiritual master again is the most important thing to a devotee or disciple. We even sing in the morning, Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. So we should try to satisfy the spiritual master, and in turn we also satisfy Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna Anu Shilana Bhaktir Uttama. One should constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. And what does Krishna desire? That you serve my representative. Serve your spiritual master. So this means that when you have accepted the bona fide spiritual master, you work in such a way that your spiritual master is pleased. It's all about that. It's all about that. To please the spiritual master, to listen to the instruction of the spiritual master. Because if one does not listen to the instruction of the spiritual master, then what is the purpose of your entire spiritual life? There is no goal. There is no running up to it. It's all lost. You are just then acting on the material platform. Whatever the world asks of you, you do it. But when the spiritual master asks of you, that is coming from the spiritual world, and that is the difference between being here and being there. So I think we spoke about this point quite often. Serve the spiritual master with the mood of how you would serve Krishna, favorably, constantly, as they desire. Then Prabhupada was just speaking. He says there what his spiritual master had told him. He said, personally to me, if I could sell this Gaudiya Math building, that would have been better. He predicted that there would be fire within these walls. So I took it. Oh, His Divine Grace wants some books. So I accepted it. Yes, I shall do it. It is all by His blessings. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim. By His mercy, a dumb man can speak and a lame man can cross a mountain. So here Prabhupada is mentioning this because sometimes even within the temple walls there is conflict, there is fights, people don't get along, people don't cooperate, the devotees, and so sometimes that can even lead to unworthy service or service that is very poor. Rather you go out there and distribute books. When you're on Harinam Sankirtan distributing books, how many devotees are arguing? If everyone is chanting the holy name and speaking to people and giving them books, where is the chance to argue? So it is said that even here, you rather sell the temple and distribute books, because even the devotees will be engaged in pure service, chanting the holy name, rather than being in the walls and having the opportunity from time to time to speak nonsense. These books are everything. In the age of Dwarpa Yuga, temple worship was the means. But now in this day and age, how many people are coming to temple? As you can see, if you come to a temple and maybe go to one of these concerts, stadiums full of people, and here we are just trying to make a few hundred people come to the temple and worship God. So this is the age of Kali Yuga. So if people don't want to come to the temple, fine. In this day and age, we'll go out to them. Let us go out to them. Let us give them the holy name. Let us give them books and see what happens from there. And let Krishna decide what he wants to do. So continuing here. So at this point, one of the devotees had left for a short while and not engaged in any service, but then they came back. So thank him for coming back. Krishna is so kind that anyone who does some service for him, Krishna immediately captures him. Swalpam ape asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. A little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. There are many instances. Tyaktva swadharman charanam bhujam hare bhajanna Pakvota patet tato yadi. If someone gives up self-gratificatory pursuits and works in Krishna consciousness, and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And if one performs his material activities perfectly, what gain is there? So let us try to render service to Krishna very sincerely. Even a drop will never go in vain. Nitya. In this connection, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayer, Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkarama Patitamam, is very instructive. Let us remain in that attitude and Krishna will give us protection. In the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2, text 40, it says, Neha Bikrama Nashosti. Sorry. Bhagavad Gita 2:40, it says, Neha Bikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo Na Vidyate. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. Sorry, we're just having a technical difficulty at the moment. It's not playing anything. Somebody else is playing. It's not you. Somebody else doing this. I don't know. It's fine. Okay, we think we may not be able to project anymore. So as I was saying, there is no loss or diminution in what goes on. Whenever you do something for Krishna, even once, they say Krishna never leaves you alone. He never leaves you alone. He will always try to find a way to bring you back into Krishna consciousness. And this gives you some sort of surety as well that, whatever you do in the material world, no matter how much you do for somebody or some company or some institution, it seems that there's no appreciation at the end of the day, unfortunately. There is no appreciation. You can do hundreds of things for the year, and you can do one wrong thing, and then people remember that. But for Krishna, you can do 100 wrong things and one right thing. And Krishna can forgive you for all the 100 wrong things you do. But for the one good thing that you did, He never leaves you alone. He will always try to bring you back. Now look at people from the material point of view and people from the spiritual point of view. Who would you rather serve in the long run? Just by that, who would you rather serve in the long run? The person who remembers the one good thing you did, or the person who remembers the one wrong thing you did? So just like that, we must always choose where we want to place our feet. So I just lost where we were exactly. We were here. Right, so continuing there. So there's another... Oops, sorry. Oh, God. Yeah. So continuing here. Your books will be the lasting credit to human society, he wrote. And I hope that we can assist you in fulfilling the desire of your divine graces. I pray to Sri Krishna that your health will always be satisfactory, as you are the light in the dark world and we all need you very much. Please give me the strength to carry on. I pray for your divine grace. Prabhupada was happy to hear from him and encouraged him to continue preaching. If you relieve me of the burden of management, that will be very great service to Krishna and the movement. See that everything is going on nicely. With great endeavor we have made the framework. Now we have to see that things are going on nicely. Yes, this preaching work is our mission. It is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, my Guru Maharaj's mission, and my mission. It is through parampara. As I am trying to discharge my Guru Maharaj's mission, you also try and do things very nicely. So once again, we can see by the spiritual master that his duty is actually to serve his spiritual master and take the instruction of his spiritual master. And that should be our duty. So this point of serving the spiritual master, I think in everything that we do, try to maintain this thought in your head that whatever I'm doing, even as I was doing the class, putting up some notes together for myself last night, one of the things I complain about to myself is, how do you preach from a diary entry? What can you say about a diary entry? Yes, you can give me a verse, it's easy to speak, it's a topic. But when you go to diary entries, what do you say? And then the statement just clicked into my head. Do it as an offering to me. I don't know why that came to my mind. But then it made me realize that maybe Krishna is speaking. He says, whatever you're doing, just do your best and do it as an offering to me. And when you keep that consciousness in mind, whatever you do will be perfect. So even though I make many mistakes, and we all will make many, many mistakes in whatever we do it with the consciousness. Do it with the right consciousness, and then it becomes perfect. We have human body. We will make mistakes. We will have the 4 defects, unfortunately for us. But if you do it with the consciousness, mistakes can be forgiven and the service can be performed. And whatever mistakes you do make, Krishna cleans it up. You'll find how he changes things. It's actually amazing. So continuing there, I think we're coming towards more or less the end. Harikesha Swami came to see Srila Prabhupada during massage with some disturbing news. He said that a former president of one of our American temples, who is now believed to be here in India, is dealing in drugs and saying that Srila Prabhupada has condoned it. Apparently he has twisted our philosophy to such a degree that he believes that if he sells drugs and uses the money for spreading Krishna consciousness, it is all right. Prabhupada's reaction was strong. We don't want your money. Stop this immediately, he said. He agreed that a letter should be sent to the GBC that this kind of activity should not be allowed in the name of Krishna consciousness. And coming back to the point of Anukulyena Krishna nu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama, you do things or you serve Krishna constantly and favorably as Krishna desires. Now, that message comes through to the spiritual master that whatever instruction he gives you, you take that as well, as favorable. So when Prabhupada has laid out the 4 regulative principles, right, do not engage in intoxication and everything associated around that, you can't then go and say, well, we need money for the temple, and the best way to get money is to sell some drugs. Yeah, it's fast selling, it'll make you a lot of money, but you can't do that. You can't do it that way. We must also remember, if we're struggling for money, it's fine, because who is at the lotus feet of Lord Narayan? Thousands and thousands of Mother Lakshmis. So money is never going to be a problem. Krishna will give you money when you need it. Sometimes we may desire money, but Krishna sees other things around it. We may become too obsessed with the money, or we want to spend the money with not the correct intention. So sometimes he doesn't give us the money, but he gives it when it is needed. So we don't worry about money. You worry about serving the spiritual master. You go out, you preach, you sell books. That's all. So these kind of activities here, we try not to do it. And devotees will come and say, it's for the higher purpose. It is time, place, and circumstance. And yes, we can consider those points. But there must be another way to do things. There's always another way to do things. So moving on here. Okay. I thought if we had some time, we can go through this, where the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust and all the accomplishments or upcoming accomplishments at the time were listed here. It's just so nice to see these figures. There's about 21 of them if I highlighted it, but I'll just go like just a few of them. Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, his first title, you can see there 2,000 copies are being or going to print. Nectar of Instruction, 100,000 copies. Bhagavatam, Canto Part 2, 50,000 copies. And there's a whole list that we go through here, and it's so encouraging to see that at the time, it was really happening. It was really happening. It was the starting of the ISKCON, and there was so much of enthusiasm. And not to say that it has died out, but when you start off and you're not sure what's going to happen, but it's so nice to see that people are taking to Krishna consciousness, and that these many books have to be printed. Of course, now we are also doing so much more, and it's all around the world. But it's so nice to see that Krishna consciousness at that time, what it had started off as. So continuing here. See the newspapers? Prabhupada asked his attentive guests. Hundreds of thousands of news. Here they are 10 pages. In foreign countries, such a big bundle. Shrota Vyadini Rajendra Nirnam Shanti Sahash Rashaha. Thousands and thousands news, but no news about Atma Tattvam. Therefore they are purchasing our books. They are intelligent. They are seeing something new because they have never seen such books. There is elaborate science of God. One can go back to home, back to Godhead. You can talk with him, you can eat with him. These things are surprising. First time they are hearing, Kartikeya said. Yes, Prabhupada agreed. That is because we are selling 6 lakhs of rupees worth books daily. They understand it is not so-called religious sentiment, it is science. Our so-called swamis and yogis, they never tried. They did not know. Also big swamis, they went there. Instead of teaching them, he was taught how to eat meat. Sannyasi eating meat, he was convinced. Yes, why not? At least in India still, the sannyasis, they do not eat meat, except that rascal missionary. No one. There may be difference of opinion, Mayavadis, but their behavior is the same. Sadachara is there. But these people are Sadachari and passing as sannyasi. Cigarette, meat eating and everything, drinking. We are asking common men to give it up and they say, oh, what is the wrong there? They do not know what is the wrong there. He complains, as he often does, that from M.K. Gandhi down, the leaders do not know what real religion is. Bhagavad Gita without Krishna. Take Bhagavad Gita, but don't touch Krishna. Untouchable. Take the egg and cut the throat of the chicken. It is expensive. Take only the hind part, you'll get the egg. And the mouth is very expensive, cut it. Very intelligent that this part is expensive and this part is productive. Keep this part and cut. So as soon as in Bhagavad Gita we say you have to become devotee of Krishna, no, cut. That part, cut. And Krishna says, Karmane evadikaraste. You have the right to perform your prescribed duty and work like ass day and night. Ah, yes, will do. So Krishna consciousness is a whole package. Simply you can choose this and don't do this. It goes hand in hand. If you love somebody, and remember the goal is Krishna Prema, to love Krishna. If you love somebody, you can't only do one thing for them. You want to learn about them. If you really love somebody, you want to learn about them. So you come to class and you listen about Krishna. You listen about his philosophy. Krishna developed the whole scientific philosophy. Don't you want to hear how he created it? It's so amazing how Krishna thought about all this. All the processes, the whole karma process. He developed all of these things and they all work perfectly together to help develop us. And when you're chanting his holy name, you know, if you love somebody, you want to call their name. They like their name to be called. So you call their name. So we chant Japamala. We call out to Krishna to express that love, that we want him, to hear of him, to talk with the people that also love him, the devotees, to then spread that love to others out there who do not know yet, because that's how amazing it is. So there's rules and discipline in the beginning, because sometimes we may not always get it right. We may cause offense because we don't understand the person. So similarly, we don't understand Krishna fully. So there's sadachara, a Vaidhi Bhakti stage. So we have to practice, we learn from others. And then when we learn to love properly without causing the offense, then it transforms into something more, Ragamika Bhakti. Okay, I'll just read this part and see how time goes. So one of the visitors identified himself as Mr. D. Mukherjee. The movie maker Saurabha had written to Prabhupada about in mid-July. He was keen to discuss the idea on spreading Krishna consciousness through the media of films and reminded Srila Prabhupada of his proposal. I have about 30 acres of land at Udaipur in Rajasthan. I was trying to make a campus with studios, laboratories and residential places for these producers, stars, casts and things. I have been thinking about this campus for some time back. And when I met Giriraj and we started getting more closer together, association, I thought that why not should we have a temple of Lord Krishna as the center from where we start the activities. Prabhupada smiled. That's nice. We must have Krishna. That's a fact. Then specifically addressing Mr. Mukherjee's proposal, while not denying it, he expressed his reservations. We have got experience. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also introduced this dramatic play, but the play was performed by a great devotee. So unless devotees are trained, this play will not be effective. First of all the devotees, they are also in the training, and if they have to learn another training, it may be very difficult. He agreed with Mr. Mukherjee that drama was a viable media and gave the example of our theatre in New York. But he said films were a different proposition. To make a film, it requires huge amount of money. Mr. Mukherjee felt that the money problem could be overcome. What I was thinking, that a short film, say about 8 to 10,000 feet, which occupies an hour and 20 minutes or so, initially made, and dubbed into as many languages as can be done, because the sound portion is always separate. As he had been in Tehran, Prabhupada was cool towards the entire concept. The life of Krishna is known to almost everyone, he said. So what benefit they will get? And when Mr. Mukherjee proposed that the film could be in good educational media, Prabhupada again disagreed. By practice, we are training them to practice how to become devotees. By superficial seeing the activities of Krishna, this is not. One has to practice. Just like we are going to start Gurukul. Gurukul means practice. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasandanto. How to become self-controlled. Danta. That is the idea. So our mission is to awaken the original consciousness. And that can be done by practice. Without practice, it is not possible. It is not by seeing some picture one becomes Krishna consciousness. That is not possible. But sir, do we not convey to a larger people? Mr. Mukherjee persisted. That is being done through books, Prabhupada said. But sir, books are for such people who can read, who can understand. Yes, Prabhupada conceded. Something can be done by showing the picture, by taking consideration of the labor and money invested in that way. The response will not be satisfactory. It is not possible. So in this day and age, the whole media, series, movies, dramas, they're all good for preaching Krishna consciousness. We're not saying no. And sometimes some people who watch a movie, you may have seen the Lord Nrsimhadev movie, you may have seen other movies, the Ramayana and so on. They are actually quite inspiring to the general population. And some may even take to Krishna consciousness. But one should not invest so much of their time, money and efforts into making movies and all of those dramas and so on. Prabhupada's instruction is to distribute the books. The books have the serious tone to it. When you give somebody a book, you know you're in for business. When you watch a movie, there's entertainment, there's sound effects, there's drama and theatrics and so on. It may take away from the actual knowledge. But whatever one does for Krishna should always lead to the chanting of the holy name or the distribution of books. We should always try to do that. Everything that we do, try to guide it into that direction and then fulfill that part of it. That's what Prabhupada asked us to do. So even here, Prabhupada is not saying no, but because it's taking up too much labor, too much money, he feels that it's not good for practice. The practice is lost. Now everyone is going to be more involved in trying to make a movie. That's not full Krishna consciousness. So sometimes we must consider, is it worth our time and effort? What are we giving to the public? Are we giving them Krishna consciousness, or are they going to be distracted by other things? So I think at this point, I have covered everything I would like to have said. So thank you very much for being so attentive. Shri Prabhupada ki. We have 2 minutes for any questions, if you have any. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.